Hello class, this is title block 01. I'm going to attempt to show you how to set up the title block for your course. I'm sorry, for your assignment. Basically there are two stages. The first stage is to set up the title block. Once this is done, then you can use this as a template for other drawings. Once Let's get started. The first thing you need to do is you need to create a rectangle for the size of the paper. Uh, so I'll start here. It can be anywhere. And then I'll click on dimensions. And we know the dimensions for the rectangle is 297 by 210. So there's the rectangle. Now remember, you can move the rectangle in 4 different quadrants, and I'll just use it right here. So that I can see the rectangle, I'll click on Zoom All. So I click on Z All. Okay, so there's the rectangle, which represents my portrait space. Now this is considered a single entity, so I'm going to break this into 4 separate lines because I'm going to do some offsets. So if I click on the explode command, this will convert this into 4 separate objects. So now you can see I have an object here, or an object here, an object here, and an object here. So I have 4 different objects. So now that there are 4 different objects, I'm going to do a little bit of offset, because you remember the title block has to be within the size of the paper's printing area. So to guarantee that I will be inside the paper's printing area, I'm going to offset about 5 millimeters. Okay. So I will take this line and I will click on the offset command, and I will choose 5 millimeters, and I offset that. That doesn't look like a lot of space, so maybe I should do maybe 10 millimeters. So I will delete that line, and then I will repeat the offset command, select the object, and then I will offset for 10 millimeters. Let me repeat again, offset, did not work. Let's try again. Offset, sorry, 10 millimeters, click on the object, and I'll offset in. And I'm going to do that for all 4 sides. Click in, and then click in. Okay, so I have 10 millimeter border around my paper, and hopefully that can be printed by the printer. Now I'm going to add the extra lines for the bottom of my title block. So I'll offset this line, let's say 20 millimeters. So I'll click on offset, click on 20. That'll give me a line there. And let's do another one, and maybe a third one. Okay, and then I'm going to draw some lines in between here, because right now I'm trying not to be, I don't have to be perfect at the moment. My grid snap on, and maybe I'll draw a line here. Okay, so that is my title block. Okay, now I need to copy this title block into my paper space. So I already have my paper space laid out, so I'm going to create a new layout. Okay, and here is my layout, but I don't want this because this is my drawing. I don't want this as a drawing. I want this as a layout or a background for the drawing. So I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to delete it. Okay. Then I'll go back to my model space with my title block, and I'll take the entire, and I will go to copy with base point, and I'll click on the bottom left hand corner as my base point. I'll go to my layout space, and this time I will paste it, and I will try to align it as close as I can to the paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so there it is. Now I don't really need those outside borders anymore. It doesn't matter, however, because it won't be printed. But I do need to do a little bit of trimming. Okay, so I'll use this as a cutting line, this as a cutting line, and I'll click on the trim command and get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, I'll click on all four lines because I will be using all of them as cutting lines. Okay, click on the trim command and I'll trim that off, trim this off, and trim this off. And as you can see, my border for my title block is inside my lines. So I'll trim off these extra lines here. And there. Looks nice. Okay. Alright. So there is my title block. Of course, you still have to put in text boxes inside here so that you can do your text commands, but this is the basic space for our title block. Now that I've deleted the original, I need to go back and put back the actual view port. So I'll click on view and I'll click on base. Sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go over to layout. That's what I want. And then I'll click on a rectangular viewport. So I'll start at the top left hand corner up here, try to do a good alignment, and I'll enclose all of the available space that I have here, and that will be my new viewport. Of course, it's showing my drawing from my model space, but I don't need that drawing anymore because I've already copied my title block. Now any new drawing that I create, for example, suppose I create a circle, and in that circle I create a line, okay, and maybe let's say I make a copy of that circle using this as a base point. Maybe I'll make a copy of this circle here and maybe a copy of this circle here. And I want to show all of this in my final drawing. Okay. So I go back to my layout and it shows you. And I can double click inside the layout space here or the viewport space here, and I can do Z, all, and all my objects that I have drawn in my model space will be displayed in my viewport. And then of course you'd add your required information down here for identifying the drawing and the date and the ID and all the extra information. Okay. Of course I can save this, and anytime I need to create a new drawing, I can open up this new drawing and click on Save As, whatever new name that I want. For example, this could be 3 circles. And I can reuse this idea over and over again. Hope this helps you understand how to create the title block for your drawing. Thank you.